What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else. It's podcast show, episode 48. Who we got, D?
Episode 48. Man, all right. So I try to run a list of players who wore 48, and I ran to a slew of baseball players, from old black and white pictures and whatnot, all the way to the brand new. It was a slew of them. But you know what I said? Nah, I can't do it. It was not enough names. I mean, for one, the names weren't great enough for me. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't a Randy Johnson or nothing like that. So I'm like, nah, not going to be any one of y'all. So let me type in basketball, maybe. Let's see what happens. Well, actually, I tried football. Didn't see anybody in football. Basketball. And you might not know him. I know him because he had a short stint with my team, Nazir Muhammad. He played with the Bulls.
Yeah, I know Nazir Muhammad.
Very, very short stint with the Pistons. Was a journeyman throughout his career.
Bulls. Yeah.
You know him from the Bulls? Okay. And I saw him, I was like, you know what? Nazir Muhammad, it's your episode, man. Because right now, you ain't got no competition. This might be the best you look.
It's the Nazir Muhammad episode. God. Hey, they ain't had nobody in NASCAR to choose from?
I didn't even think to look there. I probably should have maybe peeked over there. But hey, look, man, if you played NBA 2K 5 or you played NBA Live 906, you might have played with them.
We couldn't have found somebody from like a race or something like that, like an actual run, like a 2K or something, you know what I'm saying? Like where they just had the number 48 on their participant number 48. We could have
participant number.
We could have
chosen, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody who might have played, you know what I'm saying, some rec league or whatever. Number 48 rec league.
Yeah. Somebody from a high school camp, you know what I'm saying? Like number 48. Hey, like, nope.
Hey, but look, all jokes aside, to even have a career in the NBA, one is an accomplishment. Two, to have a long career. You know what I'm saying? The whole Kwame Brown thing, the guy was a bust, this and that. Even though he was drafted number one, Nazir Muhammad was not drafted number one. So he didn't have an expectation to be elite. But you know what I'm saying? To be in the league that long, play with that many teams, that means you had to get picked up. You go to these teams, you try out, you get picked up. You know what I'm saying? Play a season, you might get waived or whatever. There's some respect there. How many ball players never made it to the league? Always had hoop dreams, but never made it.
You know what? It's interesting what you say about the dynamic between being the number one and the expectation level versus being somebody, in whatever, in a later round, you know what I'm saying? And you get drafted and the expectation is low. It's like, how do you make it to any professional league and the expectation is low? Like, let me give this guy a chance. I guess he's good enough to play. How does that happen? Like, when you make it to that level with no expectations of you? Like,
because maybe it's like with some teams, it's like, okay, I just need a big man, or I need somebody who can just handle the ball. I don't care that you can score. You might not be the best handler. Just don't turn the ball over. You know what I'm saying? Or I might need somebody who can just fill up my roster space. This guy is 7 foot. Why not? I don't have any expectation for him, but you're 7 feet. So at least put your hands up. You can be a body. You know what I mean? Go in there and take some fouls. You know what I'm saying? Go hack a shot. that could be your role.
That's amazing. That's incredible, though, that the thought process can become something like that at that level. You just wouldn't think.
At that level, yeah.
They're thinking so low once you get to that level.
Yeah.
Like, it seems
because
like
you might have so many people with talent. So many people with talent who might not make it, but then other spots getting filled with people who don't have talent just because they fit the structure of the team, what the team's looking for. Darko Milicic, when he got drafted, man, come on now. Everybody knew he wasn't great. He didn't have that high upside. Yeah, and he was number 2. It was just, all right, let's fill the roster space.
James. Like,
crazy. Before Carmelo, before Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, right.
But hey,
that's incredible.
He made a roster though. Hoop
He
dreams.
did make the roster.
Hoop dreams.
He did that. He got a chip
played
too,
for
didn't
several years. He got a chip. Rookie year. Was his rookie year?
Yeah.
Or second year?
Second year, I think.
Second
rookie year was 03. Y'all got the chip 04, right? 04, 05?
04, yeah.
Yeah.
No, 03, 04.
Was
Then
it
we
three?
went again 04, 05. Yeah, 03, 04. And then we went to the finals again 04, 05. We lost that one to the Spurs.
Okay. Well, so be it.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, it's Nasir Muhammad. It's on you, Playboy. You did your thing out there, man. Salute.
You made it. You made it to the highlight of Verna Cigars and Everything Else podcast. You made it. You got
an episode named after you. Congratulations, man. I know that little thing that you had in the NBA, that's nothing. You made it to Burning Cigars, man. Your name will forever be across across the stadium, this top of the stadium. Yeah. You get a jersey now. You know what I'm saying?
Like, get a jersey. Put a jersey in his jersey.
You in the Raptors, baby.
When we get the cigar lounges up, man, he got a jersey in there. We're going to hang a jersey for him.
Yeah. There you go. Hey, look, man, this might be late. My name's Jared. Denzel's the co-host, man. Let's get into these sticks, man.
All right, let's do it.
You can announce what you smoking because you got to announce what I'm smoking also. So I'll let you knock them both out.
All right. Let's do it. All right. So I'm smoking what you smoked before. Not sure. We got to revisit the old previous episodes to see if it was the same one. I've smoked a Lancero before, but I have a Oliva V Siri Lancero cut roll. So we smoked. I smoked one myself. You smoked one yourself. Love the whole play of how the Lancero goes. Thought it was gonna be awkward at first, but I fell in love with it, man. So that's what I'm going with today. I have been on a tear with Olivas. I smoked the G. I got a V here. Smoke. These are still in the ashtray, half smoked. But I've been on a tear. I went to the cigar spot last week, and I just give me all the Olivas, man. And they have not let me down. I smoked that G again, and the G was just as great as it was when I smoked it on the show. And I think it might be my favorite. Might be my favorite Oliva. It might be my favorite Oliva. I think it takes the cake.
We'll confirm that after this Lancero. How about that?
For sure.
Because you got one on deck, so you can't speak yet. Let's not be premature.
Can't say it yet.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, we talking Siri. Well, I guess because the Lancero is just that different. It's a V. We smoke plenty of Vs, but the Lancero, it does make a difference. So I will hold off on that.
Let's ask this. Because you have been on an Oliva tear. Is Oliva moving up the ranks as far as one of your brands after this past little run you've been on?
Oh, yeah. And I'm ashamed. Because I know I loved Oliva. I know it's been a brand that's been reliable. It's been great. They've had top-notch cigars throughout my whole tenure of smoking cigars. And for me to not give them that nod and put them in, like, say, my top... Well, I'm not going to say they're one in my top 10. They probably were in my top 10, but to not give them heavy consideration for top 5, I'm a little embarrassed.
I think they're in my top
3. They deserve consideration for top 5. Oh, top 3.
I think so. I don't know that they 1 or 2, but they every time they so clutch, man. It's so clutch, man. Oliva's my Robert Ory, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can always depend on Oliva.
Big shot, yeah. Hey, look, man, we might need to do this one episode. What's your top 5? What's your top 10? Top 3? And break it down. Break it down for the folks who are looking for brands, and because we got a lot of ones that we love, a lot of ones that we show respect to. Some that's fallen off throughout the years. What? I think one of these episodes coming up, we need to break it down.
Let's go 5. We'll go top 5. I haven't even thought my top. Yeah, we'll go top 5. I haven't even thought my top 5 out, but I just know right off the head kind of the ones I tend to go to in the humidor, so they gotta obviously be it.
Right.
But
are we going top 5 cigars or top 5 brands?
Brands. I know which areas I go to, and I'm always like, hey, what's up with them?
Off jump,
So off jump. Yeah.
Okay.
And I could be being premature and speaking off emotion by saying Oliva's probably in 3, because now that I'm thinking of some brands, Oliva might be like 4, 5, but they might be 3 too. They deserve to be in the argument for 3. Put it that way. They deserve to be in the argument for 3 because they don't have a big line, but what they got, I love every time. And there's some brands that I know is in my top 3. I know for a fact that in my top 3 that miss sometimes, but I give them a pass because they do so good.
And that's what Oliva does. All the cigars that I've had from Oliva, they don't miss. They don't miss. And that's why I say I'm embarrassed, because I've not had a cigar from Oliva that I've said I don't like. Can I say that about Rocky? We understand Rocky. He covers the spectrum. I can say there's some Rockies out there that I don't like. But have I ever picked up an Oliva and said I don't like? No. Even as I expand my Oliva repertoire or whatever, I've not been able to say that yet. Have not been able to say it. So you're right.
Agreed.
Very clutch.
Agreed. And that was the example. I didn't want to put a name on it, but you put the homie's name on it, and he was the exact name I was thinking. But we'll move on from that.
Yeah,
I didn't want to call Rocky out, man. But yeah, Rocky was one of my top 3. I was thinking that I didn't want
everybody knows we show Rocky so much love and respect. You know what I'm saying? But we get it. I did give it some pretense. He covers the spectrum. Everybody's palate.
Yeah.
It's everybody's palate. So he's going to get somebody's palate and going to miss on somebody else's palate because you're looking, in the process, you're looking to catch this guy. So this guy over here on the far end, you're going to miss them. And then once you reach that guy, you're going to miss this guy on the other end. It's just one of those things that's going to happen when you cover the spectrum.
True.
All right, so what you got, man?
For me, I have 2 options, and I asked you at the beginning before we went on camera. I said, hey, pick out my stick for me, because I was undecided between the 2. And I said, I'll give you 2 brands. You choose between the brands. The brands were Ashton and H. Upmann. And I got a reaction out of you, and you said, save it for the show. So now we're here.
Man, yeah. You almost made me jump out my seat, man, because you threw out 2 names. 2 names. And we talk about brands that we got a lot of love for. I got love for Ashton. Man, when you said those 2 names, that automatically threw me back 10, 12 years. I went back automatically. Time travel. I time traveled so fast. And I was like, whoa, H. Upmann. That was one of the ones. Ashton. That was one of them ones. Yeah. So they're near and dear to me, man. And I don't show enough love currently either. And yet again, I'm embarrassed because I don't.
Me either. That's how I ended up here. I said, man, I ain't touched these in a while. I was like, let me go get the boys,
man. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're not going to disclose which one you have and anything about it. Just go off the brand.
I can. You want to hear which ones I got? I'll give them to you.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's do it.
Let's go off in my bag here. I got Ashton Symmetry. Symmetry. And I got The Banker by H. Upmann.
Nice classic green band.
Yeah. The Banker. Well, how we rolling? And I'll put them side by side.
H. Upmann.
H. Upmann. Okay.
Go with H. Upmann.
Going with The Banker.
Go with The Banker. Let's get the money.
Get the money. I read the backstory on this when I was getting the specs on it. And The Banker, the name comes from, there were some German bankers that flew all the way to Cuba back in the late 1800s. And they put together their own combination of leaves to create a cigar. And it was only for their wealthiest friends that they shared it with. Now, they had the recipe for it written on a piece of paper that was later on burnt down in a fire. So everybody loved it so much that they went to recreate it. And that's how we came up with the H. Upmann, The Banker, 1844. This is the recreation of that blend that those guys created for their wealthy friends. We'll see if it's that way or not.
Yeah, let's hope they got close to the original formula.
Blend.
And let's see why. Let's see why they only want it for the wealthiest of the wealthy. So,
right.
Hey, H. Upmann, I like that story.
So this is what I got. Is Ecuador wrapper or and Dominican origin.
All right.
So that's my information on it. Oh,
well,
and
my Oliva
with some Nicaraguan fillers also.
Huh?
I'm sorry, Nicaraguan fillers also. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I'm Nicaraguan through and through. Everything. I looked it up. I was like, man, this is just through and through. So
what?
That's what we got
what you
today.
putting with yours?
Oh man,
I mean, what you cutting with?
Guess what?
Cutting before you go to the drink. What you cutting with?
I went with a straight cut. Straight cut. Okay. I didn't feel like a punch or V cut would be right for the Lancero. So straight cut. Let's just keep it simple. Let's not try to do anything too daring. I was gonna go with a torchlight on it, but I'm gonna go with a Bic. I'm gonna light it slow. I was kind of nervous about the torch because I'm like, man, it's a small cigar, and I couldn't remember how I lit the last Lancero. You know, with a cigar that's this skinny, I don't want to torch it too much. You know,
you ain't got no cedar.
You don't have a lot of real estate. I don't have cedar.
You about to Bic that? That better be all you got. Tell the truth. Don't lie to the people. Is that all you got? Because if it's all you got, then I'm going to let it ride.
Okay. I'm going to do this. I'm going to light this matchstick. I'm going to go off the matchstick. Let's do that.
Okay. Come on, man. Let's roll with it, man. Don't do that.
Right.
Make that thing,
so the people can see.
This is competing to be your favorite Oliva or not, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot riding on that. You can one match that. Look how thin it is, man. You good on the Lancero. There we go.
All right, one with the matchstick.
I'm telling you, straight
man,
up,
you was about to give me a thrashing.
Bro, because we just got done saying we gonna see if this is your favorite Oliva or not. You know, it's riding on that. You about to give all the glory to the G. We gotta treat
just off the big light. Hey, at least I didn't go with the torch. At least I was smart enough not to go with the torch, though. So
I don't think you would have torched.
I tried.
You'd have handled it fine. I trust your torch. You'd have just had to give some space off of that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like some distance. Instead of touching it, letting the flame hit.
Yeah. And what we did with the with the matchstick. Being careful with this, because I'm already seeing how toasted it is, and I didn't have the fire right on the cigar. I had at least an inch and a half away, and was able to get a good draw on the flame, and brought it into the stick. So I am glad I did not go with the torch, because the torch probably would have scorched it too much.
Good thought.
All right, so my pair today, I'm doing a little mixology, man. I got some lemonade. I put some lime mint mojito mixture in it, and guess what I'm gonna splash in here?
Some tequila.
You know what I'm drinking, man. You know what I'm drinking. We on a tequila run, man.
Oliva and tequila, boy. You been smashing on
Oliva tequila,
man.
The De Leon, done it. Avion, done it. The Grand Cormino, again, Kevin Hart. Let's work on that. Did it. But today we are on Don Julio, man. I finally made a jump, and say, you know what, I'm going to try out this Don Julio. And I got the 70. It's a Cristalino Añejo. Okay, so I jumped to the Añejo with the Don Julio, and I apologize to Don Julio because I made a remark when I first tried it. I had a sip of it. I put some in a shot glass and I sipped it, right. And my first remark to you was, man, this is nothing but Patron with another name on it.
Yeah.
And right. I apologize, Don Julio, for that remark. I was wrong. It is not. After a couple of days, a few more sips, and actually really taking it in, I don't know if I was just tired that day, that first sip, and I wasn't really paying attention to it. It does have a cut like a Patron, but it's not. Like it is. It definitely has other notes in the tequila that you can't pick up on your palate as you're sipping it.
Right.
The aromas are better. It's not as hate to use the word pungent towards Patron, but yeah, Patron, your tequila is a little pungent. It hits you, it stings whenever you're sipping it and you sniff it while you sip it. It doesn't do that. It gives you some flavor in your sip while you sip it, kind of like how the Clase does. The Clase, when we were drinking it, the Blanco, if you want to have the Reposado, and you're smelling it while you're sipping it, you're getting those extra flavors that complement the actual flavor of the drink. And that's why when I took my time with Don Julio, it's still not my favorite tequila, but I was very wrong for calling it practically a Patron with another name. I was wrong for that.
Much better, or just slightly better?
Much better, much better. After like really paying attention, much better. Still not better than Clase, and we're still a step down on the Don Julio. We haven't jumped into that $150, $200 range Don Julio, right. The 1972 they have, or whatever, or 40 or 42, 1942, 1972.
42.
Whichever one. 42, okay. I haven't jumped there yet, which I do hope to get there at some point. It was still top shelf when I picked it off the shelf. So I'm still looking at it like it's a top shelf tequila.
Okay. But you said it was an Añejo is what you had? A Reposado. I'm sorry, I forgot. Añejo.
Yeah. It's Añejo. A Cristalino Añejo. So it's clear, but yeah.
Did you it's room temperature is how you been drinking it, or you put it chilled it?
It's a little chilled right now. I have been drinking it at room temperature, but right now it is just a little bit chilled.
Helped out, I'm sure.
Yeah, always. Yeah. Anything that's a little chilled, always, what I'm saying, is gonna enhance the experience just a little bit.
Okay. You want to give some first thoughts on these sticks, or you want to kind of jump into some everything else?
I'm gonna give a quick first thought. Easy light, easy draw. Remember the big thing that I was kind of nervous about before was how easy it was going to be to smoke this. So the ease of smoke is world class. Great flavors off the top. I haven't really picked up too much of anything that's really sticking out other than, just your natural tobacco flavors, your wood, oak, and all those types of notes. But great off the first light, great off the first few puffs. And we're going to take a journey.
Okay. Mine, very first thing that jumped out at me was right there on the cap of it. I put it in my mouth to get ready to light it, not even draw it, just actually get it lit. And some raisiny taste was just boom, right there on my mouth, right off the cap. From there, once I actually lit it up, took my first draw, I noticed that it was a nice creaminess to the texture to the smoke. Good aroma coming off the smoke. Nice, pretty ash so far. Nice, even burn. Lit up very well. Smooth. No problems with that getting started. some earthy notes, like you said, you know, a little bit of spice also that I picked up on. But for the most part, but so small spice, it might not even be worth mentioning. You know what I'm saying? Just very subtle. Well done. You know what I'm saying? But mainly that little raisin, earthy tone is what I'm picking up on with a creamy texture to it. So far, so good. You know what I'm saying? We'll see where we go from here, though.
The banker cigar. Well, smokes like wealth right now.
It kind of does. You know what I'm saying? I kind of feel like money a little bit with it so far, but I don't want to jump the gun. You know what I mean? So I told you before we got started, I had an epiphany last night, bro. I was, me and the family, we went out to dinner. We were coming home. And, you know, I got small kids. We don't be out too late, you know, for the most part. You know, I don't cut the regular radio on too often, like local terrestrial radio that often.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I'm like, you know what? Let's turn the radio on. And it was Friday night. Fridays and Saturday nights around 10 o'clock, they start playing the music that's going to be at the club that night. They start giving you them club mixes. So you get a feel of what the club going to be. I went, because I've been riding to the oldies station. My kids been listening to oldies so long. I was like, let me get off the oldies and see what's going on in these nightclubs since it's after 10. And I'm riding and I'm listening to it. And as I sat there, I had this epiphany that I've never voiced to the world, nor have I ever felt it. I said, I think I fell out of love with hip hop. I don't think I love hip hop anymore. Just listening to that.
Ooh.
And I didn't want to let them words out my mouth, but I felt it in that moment listening to it. Like, you know, I was just like, I don't.
That's a statement right there.
That's a statement, bro. That's why I saved it for the show. But now it's not fully true in the sense that I still love elements of hip hop, but I don't love what it is. And I could only be honest with myself in that moment. You know what I'm saying?
So
I don't love this right now. Like this don't draw me in. I don't relate to it. I don't understand it. I don't feel it. And there were parts of it that I understood. It was what my generation once was. I could hear bits and pieces of it. Some of the instruments and the sounds of the beats and stuff kind of felt like some stuff that I grew up on. Some of what they were even saying was kind of that a little bit. You know, it was in the same vein. But I outgrew what that is. Like I was like, I don't.
So this was new. This was
for music.
So this was this generation's music though. It wasn't hip hop that came on that's 10, 15, 20 years ago.
This is what's in the clubs right now. Is what was on. This was all current.
So
modern.
let me ask you this. Thinking about whatever you was hearing, because the lines of genre has blurred, right? Half the time, people don't know what R&B is. They don't know what hip hop is. They don't know what pop is. Everything is just kind of getting jumbled. We talk about being non-binary. The music is becoming non-binary more than anything.
Yeah.
So can you say what you were hearing, was it truly hip hop though?
It was hip-hop.
Like it might have elements. But was it hip hop?
It was hip hop, bro. It was hip hop.
It definitely was.
It was hip hop. It was trap beats, club beats, them trap club beats, quaking bass, boom, boom, boom. It was all of that. And it was, and even some of them, they were rapping. They were straight up rapping. It won't no singing and stuff and harmonizing. It was rapping.
So
you know
was it mostly the subject matter? Was it subject matter?
It was all that.
Or was it the sound, the nuances, the feel, the energy?
Everything. It was all of it. And I didn't feel it.
I'm trying to pinpoint something had to be trigger.
The song that I heard that started the feeling, it didn't put me over the top, but it started the feeling. It was like a Nuck If You Buck type song. New school.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I just was like, ugh. And then another one came on because they kind of running through them. And I was like, ugh. And then another one, and I was like, I don't like this.
I don't like this.
I don't like this, man. I was like, I'm not feeling it. I was like, nothing within me is, music is supposed to give you an emotion or a feeling. And I felt empty listening to it. And I said, I'm done with this. And I switched.
If somebody put on some old Wheezy or somebody put on some old Ross.
Yeah, I'm not done on that.
But it's just, no. It's just the direction that hip hop is going now.
It finally hit me
because like for one, like it is defined that this is what it is now, and it's going to continue to evolve and change throughout history, and it's never going to be what it was. It's never going to be what it was. Like, right. Case in point, whenever I play my music, and I'm working on the album, and I'll throw something out like some snippets, and like, oh man, this is old school, man. You got that LL Cool J Nas vibe, like, man, this is old school hip hop, and my shoulders sink a little bit. Yeah. Like, no, it's not older hip hop. Like to me, my mind won't let me think that this is older hip hop. Like to me, it still sounds current. It sounds like this is what it is, right? Like, huh?
It's not.
And granted, I'm letting 22-year-olds, 25-year-olds listen to it. Even people our age, like, oh yeah, man, this the old school. You got that old school vibe. You got that old school flow, huh?
Yeah, you do now.
Huh?
You do now. But see, this is the thing. This is why it seems like I might be reluctant to give information. It's because I don't want to go down a path where I'm taking a dump on what's new because of exactly what you just said. The game is evolving. I don't want to take a crap on and be like, this is so bad, blah, blah, blah. This is why I hate this. I don't want to get into that realm where I'm doing that. Let them have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let them have the game. Let them do what they do with it. But I'm not a fan of where it's going. And it finally hit me. Like, I reached a point where I can't let go. Like, you got to think about it, right? People really stopped the last generation of people that was really spitting in hip hop, like, was that era when it was Kendrick, Cole, Drake, Meek, Wale, all them was the freshmen, when they were the freshman generation. Yeah. That's like the last era of
that 09 2010 class.
That 2010 class that ran the game up until about 13, 14, 15-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like, after that is that 16, 17 class is when you started kind of getting into the Lil Uzis and the other guys and stuff. And that's fine. I still didn't hate the game. I still wasn't totally upset with it. But you know what I'm saying? But now we're just that's 6 years ago now. You know what I'm saying? That's over half a decade ago. Like,
we're starting to get too far. We're starting to get too far removed. We're getting too far removed.
From what I love about hip hop, it's totally going away, and it's just like I can't. I have to relinquish it now and give it up.
I was having a conversation, and not necessarily in this vein, but it was a 21-year-old was asking me who's my top 5 in hip hop right now, and I run down my list, like, as far as like favorite rappers, and I gave like Ghostface, Raekwon, Nas. I said I like J. Cole, and I said I like Ross. And the weirdest thing to me was, so when this person was like, if you didn't age yourself at any point, where you age yourself is when you said Ross. I said, huh? Like,
Ross saying that I like Ross than Ghostface and Nas.
Right. But that's the part that alarmed me, though, right? It's just the fact that they decided to pinpoint Ross as saying I'm dating myself. And I'm like, Ross is just as current as J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? He came out a little bit before, maybe 4 years before, 4 years prior?
Well,
3 years prior?
He peaked a decade ago, though. And I say that
I get that.
As a Ross card-carrying fan. Like, you know what I'm saying? His peak was a decade ago. And after that, anybody that got into hip-hop a decade ago looks at him as 10 years old now. You know, that's a long time. If hip hop is 50 years old, you got to look at it. You know what I'm saying? That's a decade is a big deal in the life of hip hop.
But your Drakes and J. Cole and your Kendricks, they came out
during that era when he was
years
hot.
ago. When he was hot, when he was at his peak, they were coming in. But that's what alarmed me is the fact that they use that. Like if you said Nas dates you, okay, makes sense. You say Ghostface, Raekwon, okay, yeah, that dates you. I can accept that. But when I said Ross and they said Ross dates you, I'm like, yo, that's mind boggling. That was eye opening. That you use that individual to say, yo, you like that old school rap. Not when I said Nas, not the person who came out in '94. Now when I said Raekwon, the person who was rapping in '92. You know what I'm saying? Nah, Ross, who first, when Hustling came out, what was that, like 06, right?
Yeah.
So to us, that doesn't feel like it's that long ago. But in reality, that was 17 years ago. So I had to swallow that. Like, you know what? 20 years.
Ross almost got 20 in the game. Almost, he's got 20 in the game, but almost 20 that he's actually been relevant in the game. He almost got 2 decades out of 50 that the games existed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he almost got a dub out of the 50.
I had to eat that. And it's like, wow, the game is really changing. And I saw an interesting commentary from Fat Joe. And he was like, him and his daughter was watching Rolling Loud. And his rapper comes on stage and trying to get the crowd hype. He was like, y'all better go in. When we go in, when this drop, y'all go in. And then the beat drops and tries to get the crowd going crazy. And he just starts singing these melodies and whatever. And it's like, wow, has the game changed? Because he started naming off, man, when DMX came on stage and he was ready to get people hot. He was going to growl and this and that. That's what's going to happen. MOP going to get on stage or Onyx and this is what's going to happen. That's what you expect. But now what is now, what gets the kids hype is this different type of approach to music, to hip-hop music.
Yeah.
And it's a crazy, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't relate with it. I don't understand it. I can respect it. But it is mind-boggling. So I'm not ready to say I fell out of love with hip-hop. I mean, because me, historically, more so than you, I guess. And tell me it's unfair if I am saying this, when I say this.
You should have said this before me, truth be told.
Yeah. Well, I think I feel like I've said it before. But it was just the fact that there was still to like, you know what I'm saying, to like Raekwon or Ghostface when Fish Scales came out, it was still cool. Like it was still all right. Okay, you had Cash Money, but then you still had Wu-Tang dropping. Nas was still at his peak, even though he's killing it right now, but he was still Matic. You know what I'm saying? There was still Dipset. It was still, you know what I'm saying, those guys. So if I swayed away from one, I wasn't swaying away from hip-hop as a whole. But now it's like you have to kind of sway away from hip-hop as a whole now because what you have is just a genre of music that you don't like. There's not enough variety. You still have variety back in 2000. You had Nelly, but then you had 50 Cent, you had T.I., and then you had Wayne, you had Jay-Z, you had it was variety. Now there's not variety. It's just you're going to get one style, maybe two.
I feel like even 5-6 years ago, that's why I went back to 2017 earlier in the conversation, because there was still some variety there. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say you had these other acts that were coming in. Everybody always blamed Lil Yachty for the mumble rap. You know, you had your Migos and all these people. You know what I'm saying? That people call mumble rappers and stuff like that. But they were around during that era. But there was variety in 17, 18, 19. It was still variety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can listen to 2 Chainz. You can go with 2 Chainz, but then you go with Drake. Or you go with Drake, go with Ross. Or you can decide to pick up some
Migos.
Yeah, you go with Migos. Yeah, you can sway, and then sometimes the line's still blurred. You know what I'm saying? And they came together and collaborated sometimes. So you got the best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like
when you have a variety album. Yeah, but when you have some variety, you can appreciate the other side a little more. You know what I mean? Like, so if I'm being fulfilled in these other places, then when I hear this, it's not so bad. I appreciate it's refreshing in a sense. Like it's something different. You know what I'm saying? But it's evolved into everything is the same now, and it's just like I'm not. And but to get this though, like even then, if you talk about a J. Cole and a Kendrick, those guys are now being put in people's top 50 all time lists and stuff like that. You know, you heard about that list that came out, right? You know, Kendrick was like what?
No, I haven't heard about it, but
you didn't hear about it?
Okay.
They put out a top 50 all time list. I forget what company it was, but they pissed some people off because Kendrick was number 2, you know, of all time.
You know, I mean, like I'm not gonna put him number 2.
Older rapper now, though. He's an older rapper now, though. You know what I'm saying? Like to listen to Kendrick and Cole today in 2013 is the equivalent of being a fan of Nas in 2005. Is that equivalent? You know what I'm saying? Like, so
it's true.
And yes, we looked at in 2005. We looked at Nas like he was still hot, he was still popular, but other people were coming to be more popular. But it was still disrespect for him because of who he was and his legacy.
Yeah, but you still had that new and fresh coming in. And the styles was changing and evolving around that time, but you still respected them. So it was like, okay. So Kendrick falls in that same pocket. Yeah.
History's repeating itself with him now. But so of course somebody gonna look at you and say, yeah, you dated yourself. You know, with these names and stuff like that.
Yeah, it wasn't the thing. It wasn't the other name. It was the Ross name. I'm like, and that was like, if they would have said anything else, my mind nothing would have clicked. It would have been just like, yeah.
But you know what it is, though?
If they would say that with J. Cole, if they would say that with J. Cole or Ross, I would have had that same reaction. But the other three, I'm like, okay,
but
I guess how you come to that conclusion.
Because Ross has this reputation amongst people where they feel like they can take a shot at Ross. Whoever it was probably don't know enough about Ghostface to say nothing about him. Nas is Nas, so you keep your mouth shut about the God. You know what I'm saying? But Ross is the one you can take a shot at. For people, he never really got his flowers like he deserved, man, amongst the fans, and a lot of it goes back to 2008, 9, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But he's one guy that's I don't know, man. The fans
so consistent. So consistent.
The fans has really done him wrong as far as his respect level, man.
I mean, like
that's all.
Honestly, like, that's a conversation for another thing. But you don't know many people from his era that can have that same consistency, do what they've done in the game. It's very few. It's very, very, very few. Other than a Jeezy, maybe even a Gucci. That's not even, I don't know. Can you put Gucci in that same class of productivity? I know he did his time, so he had to sit down for a minute.
Gucci was pretty productive, man. I'm sure he put out more material than everybody from his era. Except for Wayne, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like him and Wayne put out they was.
But Wayne gets his flowers. Wayne gets his flowers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Wayne birthed all of them.
I feel like Jeezy gets his flowers. I even feel like Gucci gets his, maybe not his flowers, but I definitely hear Gucci getting his respect.
Yeah. Gucci,
but like you said, Ross might be one of those that you don't hear about getting his flowers or respect. Yeah,
because he's from a time where, people had to believe that you were who you say you were. You know what I'm saying? Like that era's gone now. If he would have came up in this era and had been equally as cold
nobody cares.
This era as he was in that era, you know what I'm saying? Like, then he'd be cool right now. He'd be gold. Yeah. But
after Drake did what he did, nobody cares. Dude, can you make a hot song? That's it.
Yeah.
Can you make a hot song?
Yeah, that's where we at now. Man, look at it this way, bro. I mean, Young Thug been out for a decade. Young Thug is an OG in the game.
Wow.
He an OG in the game. I don't remember him until about 2013. Like, he's not current. You know what I'm saying? He's not what's right now. He's not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy
just
when you think about it.
Just be careful. Don't use the word relevant. When you use the word relevant, that'll get you in hot water.
Yeah, no, Young Thug relevant. I can't say he's not relevant, but he's just not current. You know what I'm saying? He's not what's current, what they're currently doing. He's not that sound.
Yeah, like that's where 21 Savage got himself in trouble. Not necessarily in trouble, but topic with conversation when he said Nas isn't relevant. Should have just said Nas isn't current. Okay.
21 Savage is doing it. He's from that era too.
Mm-hmm.
He's from that era. Shoot, when we went to whenever we went to 21 Savage from about 2015, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, that's why you see him work more with the old rappers than the new ones. Like, he don't be working with the new guys.
Can you answer this question? Do you know, or can you name, or how many can you name, rappers 25 and under?
I don't know, man. I don't know none of their ages. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you could tell.
I guess. Not. I don't know. Glorilla, is she probably under 25? I guess. I don't know. I know these people faces. I know their names. I don't know their actual songs, man, to be honest with you, man. Like, a lot of these people is like social media famous more so than music famous in the music from afterwards.
That part.
Yeah.
Man, a lot. I mean, and it's driven that way. Like, once you just get a social media follow and you drop some music, like, that's your muscle behind you. You become social media famous, and then you just happen to do some music too.
Yeah.
I miss the days of when, like, our musicians were mythological in a sense. You know what I mean?
I miss it. Yeah, I miss that. Like, check it out. What's the Quavo's old lady, man? He was with little light skinned girl, man.
Start with S. Her name start with S.
Sweetie, right?
Sweetie.
Everybody, they clowned her over her album because it like did nothing. Like, it might have did like under 10,000 sales or some goofy mess. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they clowned her on that because she's so popular somehow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she had a McDonald's meal. Like, you had all this attention, but it didn't correlate to the music because she's an example of what I'm talking about. You're social media famous, but nobody cares about the music necessarily. It comes after as an afterthought.
I'm about to throw you back in the 03, 04 and how hard I was on people doing music and not being true to music and music not really being in people. Right? You remember this?
Yeah.
I was a tyrant when it came to that. I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I was ready to go off the deep end when it came to what it felt like me protecting music. Now, was I wrong in some senses? Yeah, because some people had music in them, and just because it didn't sound or feel the way that I wanted it to feel, you know what I'm saying? I can be wrong. But now more than ever, we're seeing that of people doing music, and I can hear the music, and I can tell that music's not in them. They're just doing it because they have a social media platform. And you know what? I got a home studio. I can pull up Ableton or Logic or Pro Tools in my house and grab a mic, and I can make some songs and do a raunchy video or do some whatever, or act like this or whatever. And now I'm a rapper.
Yeah, it's just this fun thing to do. It's just this fun thing to do. Because
I got 100K on Instagram and 100K on TikTok. Let me release some music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But see, that was also part of what bothered me last night. I think I left this one point out. There was no soul to the music. And I'm not talking about soul like 2000. I'm not talking about Aretha Franklin. I'm talking about it just was no. Yeah,
I get you. Like, and I think maybe I was a little too soon with the sentiment because I think that sentiment is very much so valid. And I think that's why you came to the conclusion that you came to when you had that epiphany moment that I don't know if I love this anymore. because you got people who are doing it because you know what, it's a cool thing to do. I can do it. I can make some money. You know, I got a little bit of a following, and as I've been doing, especially like with TikTok, man, you can get people to follow you. You know what I'm saying? And if I didn't do music prior to people following me, and I decide, you know what, I got all these followers now, let me just do some music real quick, and let me just make this a thing. And they're gonna go stream me because I can release my stuff on DistroKid or whatever. And guess what? Voila! I'm a pocket musician. I just pull something out of my pocket on my phone, and boom, I become a musician, just like that. So we're like you said, there was no soul in what you were hearing. Like you said, not soul like Aretha Franklin or Marvin Gaye or whatever, but just like the soul that you might catch from DMX, a little still 20 plus years ago, but a rapper who you could tell was tied to his music. You know what I'm saying? Who was a musician, who was an artist. Yeah. These people aren't artists anymore.
There's a soul to that. I mean, like, there was a soul to T.I. and Wayne trapping. You know what I'm saying? They trapped. There was a soul to Young Jesus trap music. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a soul to Little John in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's a feeling there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something to make me feel something. Like, whether it's anger or happy or, you know what I'm saying? There's an effort to what you're doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to see you. I don't go to the playground and sit around and watch kids play at the park and do whatever they doing. You know what I'm saying? Just shooting around.
That's what the radio is now. It's just a play day. Everybody's playing music.
You doing some leisurely thing. With this leisurely thing you threw out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they caught everybody's attention.
It's like watching a movie with somebody acting, and they're not an actor. They haven't embodied it, but they're trying to act. The movie's not going to come out good because these actors aren't actors. Right. Yeah. They got some followers. They want to get on. They want to do something, and it's not going to translate.
That's why I don't watch most of these skits from these people also. I don't understand why these, and it's going into something else. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these guys that make these skits that everybody be loving, I ain't a fan of none of them. And I'm not saying that saying it to talk bad about them, but most of them, there's not a soul in a lot of that stuff either. Some of the concepts are good concepts and creative, but a lot of that stuff, man, is you can't act, homie. Like, you know what I'm saying? This stuff ain't interesting to me. Watching some people that can't act do some goofy mess because they got a camera to record themselves. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, take your craft seriously. You ain't gotta be like the greatest to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but take what you're doing seriously. Have a passion.
That's one what social media does. What technology has created or allowed people to be able to do is just to be able to exploit art, you know, in a way that is just something to do, right? And now there's no filter. So before we were getting quality movies. If you would release a box office movie, it was gonna be good because it was a process. If you're gonna get Michael Jackson's Thriller, you're gonna get Michael Jackson's Thriller because there's a process. There's a avenue to go through. Now, I'm not saying that everybody who got music out was great and everybody who was great didn't always be able to get through. But the majority of what you're going to get through this funnel was going to be good quality. Now, whether it was your genre that you liked or whatever, that's a whole other thing. But at least what you were going to get for the majority, 85% or whatever, that you were going to get was going to be
garbage. Got filtered, is what you're getting at.
Got filtered, through the system. Some gonna get through.
Being so
some gonna get through because But now we got this wide field to where everybody can just put out whatever, and then they're gonna go ahead and choose because that one got 1 million likes, that one got 2 million likes, this one got 7 million likes. So guess what? We're gonna push. We're gonna push the ones that got the likes.
And so now we're letting. It goes back to an example. I always give this example with Lil Wayne. And then it comes back to all this stuff is out there and everybody got all this content to choose from. And when it's time to copy who you want to emulate, you don't emulate the good ones because you ain't got the talent to emulate that. You say, I can do what they doing. And they got 1 million views on it. Let me copy this one. and they copy the watered down content instead of trying to be like the great content. I always give a Wayne example. They don't copy when Wayne was murking mixtapes and running through everybody's beats and stuff like that. They copy lollipop, lollipop. They copy that version
because that's what got the most. Yeah.
Well, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I can't rap like he did on this track, but I can do this singing stuff.
I can do that.
And that was successful.
That's what you have.
Yeah, and now you got a bunch of everybody singing they rendition of Lollipop.
And guess what? That just snowballs now. Now, as much as the ungreat stuff becomes popular, you're going to have more not so great content, and it's going to continue to be popular. So it becomes the standard. Now that's what's always going to be pushed. And then now those who actually are trying, they're going to get filtered out. They get filtered out. You know, and now you're still going to have your select few greats who are actually talented, and those are going to come through, and thankfully they do. But now it's 85-15 the other way. Before it was 85-15, 85% good quality greatness. Man, we talked about when I used to see those videos about, man, this is black excellence. I think we talked about on the last podcast. It's like, it was great stuff coming out. It was great stuff. We were getting the good stuff at a high rate, at a high percentage, and then we get some not so good stuff. But now it's like that stuff that's great, that excellence is suppressed more so, and now we're just getting so much. On a huge scale, that 85 now being what's just popular. I remember having an issue with it back then, and I'm you beat me to the punch with this conversation.
Man, you know what also plays a part of it is it's a shift in mindset. Instead of people having the mindset, let me make everything I put out great, people have the mindset, let me figure out how to control this algorithm through consistency. So it's people are working algorithms now. Let me be consistent, constantly drop something. It ain't got to be good, but I got to constantly be in your face. So it's an effort to make sure that you put out a quality product. It's quantity over quality. It used to be flip-flop, quality over quantity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And
man, I mean, we can even go back to Jay-Z, and might be a bad example, using Jay-Z and 50 Cent, right? Man, I heard even Cameron. Matter of fact, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Cameron. We know how they used to rap.
Right.
Jay-Z, he said in the song he wanted to rap like Common Sense, but he sold blah, 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 blah. He ain't rap like Common Sense.
Right.
I heard 50 go in. I'm like, I didn't know 50 had bars like that ever.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like when 50 came out as an artist, like I enjoyed his music, especially Get Rich or Die Trying. But I never looked at him like a word. Yeah, he was decent, but I never looked at him like a wordsmith. But then I heard something from way back. I'm like, yo, 50 was rhyming like that?
Yeah, old school mixtape.
Heard Cam. They call him Fat Cam. Like, Cam was rhyming like that? Well, actually, no, I know Cam was rhyming like that. So Cam wasn't as big of a because I love Confessions of Fire. Yeah. He was rapping even harder than when he got on Confessions of Fire, because he still was becoming commercialized when Confessions of Fire came out. But then you go down, now you got Computers Putin, Scooby-Doo doing, and blah, 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 whatever we was saying when he like really got popping. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's like, you become what you need to become successful. And those are just small examples, but granted, those people still had talent and they were doing it. That's why I said it's a bad example.
Even when they dumbed their stuff down, they didn't dumb it down great. They still
it was still great. 50 Cent was still great. Jay-Z still great. Cam still great. But it's just the fact that, wow, they were even greater. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially now, I wanted to hear more of what they could have been, what they were doing. Let me give some of that. But now it's like you got these people, they don't have that underlying talent, that high level talent that Cam had to go back and do Computers Putin. I give him a pass for that. Hey, Cam, let Computers Pute all day, because I know what you had in the tuck. You decided to leave that back because guess what? What's going to get you some more money in your pocket? What's going to give you some more worldwide acclaim, what's going to allow you to live forever, you had to go that route so that way you could live and you can create this career and create this idea of, you know what I'm saying, Cam in the pink and you know what I'm saying. You had to do that. You got to do that.
Man, think how spoiled we were back then that we actually could criticize guys like that for dumbing down. But look at the level they was at, and we actually criticized them for it back in them times. Like, that's how spoiled we were back then. Like, we could be like, yo, hey, so-and-so, man, dumbed it down, man. What is up with him, man? He better than that. Like, but he was still performing at a high level. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but we knew they were jogging. We knew they was only giving 80%. You know what I'm saying? So we like, hey man, what else the 20, man? Come with it. Like, it's different, man.
And now we begging for it, right? Now we begging for it.
I would be happy with. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's bound to happen. At some point, it happens to everybody, whether it's musically, whether it's through fashion, technology. At some point, everything passes you by. You know what I'm saying? And
you know what's scary? Because the sentiment's always history repeats itself, right? Fashions come back around. Unfortunately, it did it with R&B for a minute. I don't know if R&B is going to do it either. But it seems like with this day and age with music, it's not going to come back around. It's only going to go in a trajectory that's not going to allow it to go back to that essence. You know what I'm saying? Like you remember, like for a minute we had that phase, that conscious phase, right? Where conscious, like it was cool to be the conscious MC. I forgot who said it. It might have been Nas. And that was like that full circle type of thing. But now I think we full circled and now we spiraled. You know what I'm saying? I'm unsure that the sentiment and the drive for high quality MCs, high quality hip hop music is ever going to come back around. I think we're almost to the point of going to the point of no return.
Okay, so look at it this way. If it's going to come, we got a few more years to go. Because Kanye would drop out 04, 05, somewhere in there, right?
04, yeah. Yeah.
That was and then he did good music, and that was the resurgence of some of the conscious rap in the hip hop at that point in time. Would you agree? You know what I'm saying? Like where somebody went platinum off being that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And not saying you got to be a conscious rapper and conscious hip hop is only good hip hop. I'm not saying that.
No. But that specific niche of hip hop made it.
I just use that as an example.
In 04. Right. So then you get Kendrick Cole, Wale. They got they run close to a decade after that. You know what I'm saying? They run, we'll say, you know, where that became less hot. Maybe we'll say maybe, you know, they had their little run for however many years you want to say. Now we're in 23. So, you know, they were close to a decade after Kanye. We might be getting close to them coming back. You know what I'm saying? But we might be another 2 years off.
So
this is what gives us hope. The girls give us hope. Okay, I look at it this way, right? The Baby was rapping. Like, how you feel about his lyrics or whatever, it's fine. But he actually was rapping. Then you get the girls. The girls are actually rapping. How you feel about what they got to say, they're actually rapping, regardless. They don't. The guys are singing, the girls is rapping. So
I was going to say
this could all be working us towards rapping coming back in. You know what I'm saying? And it will open the door for somebody to, you know, give another look to it. You know what I'm saying? In maybe another 2 years or so. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so my thought is, we got 2 years to watch the game, and if 2 years things don't kind of start, the needle doesn't start tilting a little bit, we might be to the point of no return. 2 years. Yeah. If that needle doesn't tilt,
then maybe.
Then that's our telltale that, hey, look, Groundhog didn't see a shadow. You know what
Groundhog
I'm
did see the
saying?
shadow, man. It's possible, man. It's possible. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the ladies can inspire one of these dudes to get back to rapping. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
canceled the
get
baby.
back to going
So he's
in. Come
the
on.
only
Yeah,
male
all
that
right.
was rapping. So we'll see if,
Yeah, I
one of
guess you
these
can say
guys
like,
decides to start
you can say
rapping.
little baby rapping, little baby rapping,
Oh, yeah. I like Lil Baby. I like Lil Baby. I ain't even gonna pretend. Lil
little
Baby get
baby
off
rapping.
sometime.
Oh,
Yeah,
they got this
I ain't got, I
this
ain't got no beef with Lil
other
Baby.
young
Lil
dude,
Baby, I like Lil Baby.
Corday
Can
rap.
rap.
He sang a
Do
little
both.
bit,
He do both.
but
He
you
can
know what I'm
rap though. He
saying.
can rap though. I ain't mad at
But
Corday
yeah,
either, but he just ain't
Corday rap.
he ain't peaked yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm worried that he's gonna be mid card. You know what I'm saying? Like
He can be swayed to be like, you know
not even
what?
that. I'm just saying he's not mainstream enough to push the needle in that direction. He exists. I'm sure there are other people like him that exist. Like you just said, Lil
Yeah,
Baby, Corday. I wasn't thinking about them guys, but they exist. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Lil Baby also ain't that new to me either. You know what I'm saying? Like he kind
yeah,
of been
He been
around.
around. He been
He's
around.
been leveling up his skills over the past 5 years as he's been around too, though. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know.
So
I don't know,
there's
man.
still hope. There's still hope. And I guess I get your sentiment. It's like, man, when songs used to come on back in the day and we used to be club time, just go back and let's think about the songs that we used to hear in the club in our time. You would have the Lil Jon. You would have the Young Bloods.
Yeah,
You would have them
guys like that.
guys. But then you would still
Bone
have
Crusher.
50 was Bone Crusher. But you still had 50 in the clubs. You still had Dipset in the clubs. You still had Jay-Z in the clubs. You say,
Yeah,
excuse me? You know what I'm saying? That was in the
you had
club.
all that stuff,
We used
man.
to roll to the club. You know what I'm saying? How we used to roll to the club. We used to play some things, man. Like some real
Yeah,
music. And you used to
man.
have that real music in the club every now and then. Like the DJ would have
That
sets.
reggae,
I'll be
you know what I'm saying? The
yeah,
reggae
oh man.
sets would kick on. Go crazy. Like,
I would be curious to go to a club. I haven't been to a club in a long time. And just let me see what is going on in the clubs. Like what are they playing? What are they playing? Because like we talked about variety. Like there were sets. There were sets. And the DJ would go on a run. You know what I'm saying? It would be all New York hip hop. Then it would be all
mm-hmm.
South. And then it'd be time for the girls to twerk or whatever. And they go in on that. And like you said, and then the reggae dance hall, they go in on that. So what is going on in the clubs now? I don't know.
I don't either, man. Be interested to know.
It's just a bunch of guys singing
Hey, man, I
rap
watched
songs.
House Party
And
the other
girls
day.
rapping.
Right, and girls rapping. I watched House Party the other day and watched the part of the movie where they had the dance off, and I was like, man, people, to have that was cool to have a dance off back then. People from my era still imitate that little thing where you kick the legs and then they backed off and
Yeah.
it just made me just feel fond for the old times where people. That stuff was cool and stuff. But don't get me wrong, I know people still dancing. And I see they got their own little dances and stuff they do now, but
It's just different.
It's just different.
The soul is in there. The soul is in there. The fun is in there.
I wish people cared about the fun and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. But man, look, man, we done went way over, man. Let's get into these cigar reviews, man. We had a whole nother half of the show I wanted to get into. We didn't even get into the second half, so.
Yeah, you had me with that one. I didn't know where you were gonna go, and man, you know how I am. Yeah, you know that was gonna be a run.
I wasn't sure which one was gonna last longer. I thought maybe I could cut this one short, and the other one would last longer. We'll save it for next week, maybe. Who knows? Maybe we'll never talk about it. I don't know.
All right, leave it back to these cigars there, man. Yeah, we didn't even get through a midway review or nothing.
Didn't, but I've been rolling through this Upmann, man. So I'll jump into mine, the banker. They say it was for their wealthiest friends. I can understand why. I'm not going to tease the score. I'm just going to jump out with it. I feel like giving a 4.5 is going 4.5 out of 5 on this banker. It's smooth, brother. It's nice and smooth. It's got the little raisin thing, which don't bother me too much. You know what I'm saying? Nice creamy smoke on this right here. It's got the earthy tones. It's got a nice little coffee finish to it at the end of it. I've kept a beautiful even burn on this thing throughout most of it, man. It's been a good stick, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no complaints about it, man. So I'm very proud of this stick, man. I enjoy it. I would say do it again. I saw somewhere they had like a 91 rating on it previously. I ain't mad at that, man. Yeah, if it bumped it up, I'd have been good with it, man. Good aroma. It's just been good, man. Nice smooth stick, bro. Nice smooth stick, man.
I'm gonna have to look for that one. Definitely have to look for that one, especially with a 4.5, man. Nice. Let me go into my Lancero, man. I'm gonna say this. I am in love with this gauge. I'm in love with the cut. I'm in love with the gauge. I know I said it before. It is. I know I said it before when I had the first Lancero. You said the same thing. And now going back to it, I need more of these in my humidor. I need more Lanceros in my humidor. I'm in love with it, man. I am like just super fond of this Lancero. I remember I was afraid, like, man, how's this gonna feel? But it feels good. It feels good. So the biggest nod for me, of course, it's Oliva, so it's solid. Everything off of it's quality. Wrapped very well, filled nicely. Burn was great. I had to relight it once. It's probably because I put the cigar down and got too deep into the conversation. Even burn, same, whole way down. And you know how bad of a burn I usually have. You know what I'm saying? The Lancero, It burned even from the jump. Good oak, good earthiness, nothing like crazy or anything like that. It was just a really, really good, even kill, tobacco-driven cigar that was just smooth. Even the full body. I had some thick smokes throughout. That creaminess did start coming in towards, we didn't get to that halfway point, but by the second, third, and you saw how long it was, you see where I'm at now. Around that second, third, that creaminess really, really, really kicked in. And it really started to just have that really good full smoke. It felt good. It felt good. Like it doesn't give you, it doesn't shy on how the smoke is with it being such a small gauge. And that's one thing I do love. Like it doesn't feel thin like with the smoke. It doesn't feel like you're cheating yourself on getting that full cigar experience. Flavors, all great, like I mentioned. I'm not going to say it's my favorite, man. I'm not going to say it's my favorite. I'm going to say that G, the way I felt about that G, like the biggest thing about me is just really enjoying the cigar and the gauge and the feel of it more so than the smoke itself. Man, that's why one of the preferences was saying everything was great about it. Flavors were great. Nothing was harsh. Nothing was like bad on my palate. Just good. Really, really good. So I'm going to say a 4.2.
Okay.
Yeah, 4.2. So close. It could probably, you know what? If I had to rate it now, man, and I feel bad because the Milano, that's kind of coming down a little bit. I would say the G series, the Lancero V, and then the V Milano. Those would be my top 3 Oliva cigars right now. So this is my number 2, but that G is still my number 1. I love that G.
What'd you get at G?
I can't remember what I gave the G, and I hope I gave it more than 4.2 because I don't want to lie to anybody. And remember, I had to go back and smoke the G again. Gave the G a second try. It did. So I want to go back and revisit the episode so I can see what I gave it and smoke it again. I got to smoke it again on the show just so I give it a fair rating with it being fresh, straight out the humidor, well taken care of, and make sure and out the proper humidor too. And try it again. But yeah, man. So G number 1, this Lancero V number 2, 4.2.
I gotta get the G, man. I still ain't got the G. But there you go.
I might
y'all.
go get one again today.
It's like that.
I love that G.
There y'all have it. That is the Nazir Muhammad. Did I get that right? I don't forgot homie name. Nazir Muhammad's episode 48 of Cigars and Everything Else podcast. We appreciate y'all tuning in this week's episode. We'll get with y'all next week. I'll keep them cigars up, y'all.
Cigars up.